Having gratitude does not remove the bad in your life, but it does give you the power to face it. Say that you're a hostage. A sliver of sunlight doesn't mean that you're not trapped, but it gives you the courage to escape. In a post apocalyptic wasteland, acknowledging a blooming flower does not diminish the radioactive goo, but it may give you the courage to keep going until you find freedom. Positivity and negativity are not mutually exclusive. They can exist in the same setting, so when you're upset, try looking for the silver lining. But what's the difference between this mindset and toxic positivity? Toxic positivity only has room for happiness. It eliminates the space for sadness, and observation becomes delusion, becomes obsession. Meanwhile, the mindset that I mentioned makes room for the sadness. You can be sad and notice a happy thing independently. You can be sad while noticing the happy observation. But toxic positivity eliminates the space for sadness. When you notice the happy thing, you're supposed to obsess about it. You're supposed to be delusionally occupied with it so as to stay toxically positive, distracted. You're telling yourself you're happy, but you're faking it. Whereas with my aforementioned mindset, you know it's okay to not be happy right now, but that you will be soon. So, when are some times that I was able to practice this? I will use real down to earth examples, not like some superficial, silly stuff. That way, you know it's really possible. I will be talking about how everything worked out too. So, at 19, I had to sell my first home because I didn't know anything about home owning or repairs. My Struggle to Suburbs series basically talks about how I started out in foster care. Because of this, I mean, I was 19. That's a kid for I mean, in my eyes, that I was still a kid. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody, and I didn't, and it especially wasn't the world I studied for. I'm in my mid 20s, so I was 19, not long ago. So I mean, you know what I mean when I say this wasn't the world that I studied for. But basically, I didn't know anything about home owning or repairs, so I did the humble thing. Instead of riding it till the wheels fell off, really just running my situation into the ground, I decided that I was going to be humble. I admitted, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm young. I bought a house too young. I don't have any connections. I don't know anything. I don't know how to fix anything. I don't, my husband and I were really young at the time. He was working like 12 to 18-hour shifts and he didn't know everything either, you know. But the things that he did, who's going to who I'm not going to make him come home after 12 to 18 hours and try to figure out some stuff that he doesn't even know anything about. I think that that is just cruel. That would just have been cruel of me. So the humble thing that we decided to do was sell the home. We sold the home and broke even, which honestly we should not have even broke even for what it was, but we were honest. The people just they wanted it. They wanted to give us what they gave us. That was a blessing. They were real insistent on one thing, that because I had taken now watch this, follow full circle, catch it. They were insistent on one thing, that because I had treated my space nicely and because it at least looked beautiful, that that's why they were so insistent on giving me what they gave me, and basically what they did was they cleared our debt. The debt that we went into trying to repair all the things that we couldn't fix. They took us out of it. Even though this home wasn't treating me well and it needed everything needed fixed, you know, I still treated it with gratitude. I was grateful to have the place that I had, even though it needed a lot of work. And not even a lot of work. I'm so serious. The place was hardly livable. I'm not even being funny. Like, it's too much to even go into detail. It was a lot. But I met this situation that, man, I had to sell my house. I should have been devastated. But I met this situation with a mindset of, well, I could be in debt right now. I could have no house and be in thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. But by the grace of God, my debt is cleared because I was grateful for and stewarded well the small blessing that He gave me. I ultimately ended up moving to my dream location at the end of this whole fiasco. So it all worked out. I did actually, I was stressed. I know I say I was grateful, but I was stressed. You can be both. You can be both. Positive, like I just said, positivity and negativity can exist in the same space. I absolutely was stressed out and I was terrified. I did not know what was going to happen next. There was a point where I didn't know where I was going to go. I really had no idea. But a combination of the family that I patched together, the family that I created, the knowledge that I have of systems and paperwork and stuff like that, and my grateful attitude and God all saved me. You're allowed to acknowledge that negative thing, but acknowledge that negative thing and go, yeah, this thing is bad, and this thing over here is really good. And I'm going to let that thing over here that's really good invigorate me to help me defeat that thing that's really bad. So, another realistic example of something that I went through was I went through a lot of cars. I I have gone through probably about 5 or 6 cars for things that are literally legally not my fault. So listen to this. I was living way up north in the like up north area and I bruh, my husband hit like 6 deer. And we weren't even going fast. We were going like 40. We were only going like 40. And when I tell you it was dark, and they all literally hurled themselves at the side of the vehicle, like they T-boned the vehicle. They hit the side of, like, my husband had gone, and they like essentially smashed the windows. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even really hit the deer. The deer hit him. We've had a transmission explode. Like, we drove, dude. I'm one of those people who has bad car luck. We drove this car off the lot. It had, it was a used car. It only had, it only literally, like, this lady only used it. They said it was a lady, had dropped it off, and she only used it for like a year. She only put like 10, 15,000 miles on it. Okay, so why did my transmission explode? But my mindset with all of the cars that got us to the car that we're in now was at least they got us to this point, you know? I utilize things as stepping stones a lot. Nothing is permanent. No state of life is permanent. No possession is permanent. No title is permanent. No place is permanent. No position. So I also talk sometimes on this channel about having a disability that I don't feel comfortable disclosing. But one of the realities that I do face is constant physical pain. But I am able to face that with, at least I have a body that allows me to feel. Because people who don't have the sensation of pain when they hurt themselves, they don't even notice, and they can end up, a lot worse. So, yeah, it's terrible that I'm in pain, but almost every time I at least acknowledge the things that I do have and am grateful for. God makes provision for me in this way. You know what I mean? Like in the area that I have acknowledged him for. So if you do this, you may notice God sending you opportunities. You may notice God sending you people. You may notice that you're finding things that you have lost, stuff like that. It's just, are your eyes and ears open to the people and the opportunities? And what about the lessons? Yeah, how about that? How about the lessons? Have you been learning the lessons? I think those are the most important part. So, how has gratitude helped me? It's changed people's perception of me. People have literally described me as SpongeBob because I am happy at work. I am so skippy and I laugh a lot and I'm giggly and all that. People have told me I'm like a puppy because I'm excited and just ready to see what the world's gonna throw at me, and I just run at everything head first like a puppy, you know? Gratitude has almost turned me into Dory, people say, because I'm innocent and well assuming of people. It has caused me to expect the best in a world where people are constantly, almost it feels like they're hoping for the worst. I pretty much just walk around expecting good things to happen now. And if they don't, guess what? They're going to happen to me tomorrow. And if they don't happen, guess what? They're going to happen to me next week. And if they don't, you know what? Continue so and so on. I'm not going to live my. I forget which video I said it in, but if things are equally possible and impossible, why would I stress about the things that are possible and negative when there's equally as many infinite possibilities that are possible and positive? I think in that video I was applying it to people's intentions, though. But now I'm applying it to gratitude. So go out there and expect the best. Be hopeful and have faith. So, how can you wield gratitude in your day to day life? And how can you learn to turn some of your negative thoughts into more positive ones? This isn't toxic positivity. This is making room for realism and hope in the same setting. Do you think such a thing is possible? Let me know what you think down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you'd love to hear more thoughts like mine, go ahead and like and subscribe. I am dropping new videos whenever I have new thoughts, and that seems to be pretty often. So I want you to go and have the best, most blessed day. And I'm really grateful for you, you know? Why don't you think of a few things that you're grateful for and drop them down in the comments down below? Take care of yourself and practice having hope in not so hopeful situations. Maybe try checking out my series, Struggle to Suburbs, for some of the practical things that I did for myself. I will link it in the description down below. But for now, I will see you later. Bye.